What's up everybody, this is Live with No Hippie Barbecue. What I'm making today is going to be some macaroni and cheesesteak. There's two channels that kind of gave me the idea and the inspiration to roll on this recipe. The first channel, Kendall Lawrence, Head Chef Mom. She's making her comeback to YouTube, asked me what I thought her first video should be, and I told her macaroni and cheese. The second channel is Christy's Cooking Channel. And I made some beef stock a while back, which we're going to be incorporating into this video. And I was kind of asking her what I could use this beef stock for. And she came up with kind of a goulash recipe. Thought about it a little bit and I said, you know what, let's combine both of those together. We're going to be using the beef stock in this recipe to kind of give it kind of that beefy flavor like a Philly cheesesteak. And then we're going to be using the macaroni for the macaroni and cheese. Anyway, I'm going to leave both their channels in the iCard above. Description below, run by there, they're knocking out some good stuff. Anyway, basic concept to this, we're going to be making macaroni and cheese. We're going to be incorporating the taste of Philly in this. By no means is this anything authentic or anything like that. We are going to be using some thinly sliced ribeye steak. We have some onion and some bell peppers that have been chopped into kind of bigger chunks. We have some provolone cheese that I kind of have diced up. We're going to be using some flour. I have the beef stock I mentioned earlier. Some milk. As far as seasoning, we're going to go pretty simple on this. We're going to be using salt and pepper. We're going to be using a little olive oil to cook the meat and the peppers. And I have some French bread that I have cut up, or it's pretty much diced into small cubes, and we're going to throw that in the oven. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my skillet out here, get everything started, get this bread toasting, and I'll see you back. First step is just going to be to cook this meat and the peppers and onions. I already have a thin layer of olive oil down. We're just going to all cook this together. It's all going to the same place. And I just want to cook this until the meat's cooked all the way through and the peppers and onions are a little soft. So the meat's about cooked. What I'm going to do is go ahead and season it with our salt and our pepper, and then I'm going to just turn it down and leave the lid on. So I'm going to have it turned on basically warm. Let's go with a lot of pepper. Turn this down. I'm going to let this sit for about another 10 minutes. Our meat and vegetable mixture is cooked down. I'm just going to go ahead and set them aside. Just going to throw them in a pot. Alright, so I still have a little bit of the liquid. Left in here. I'm going to go ahead and hit it with some olive oil. Turn my temperature back up a little bit. And then we're going to hit it with the flour. Not sure if I mentioned it or not, but the recipe will be in the description. I am making about double what the recipe would call for, or what your typical macaroni and cheese recipe would call for. Let this cook for about 7-8 minutes, stirring the whole time. Or not the whole time, but you get the point. So this roux actually got where I wanted a lot quicker than I thought. We only let that cook for about 4 minutes. I'm fine with that. Now we're going to go ahead and add our milk and our beef stock. And I'm going to do 3 cups of each. I'm a little shy on the beef stock. Alright, so total of 6 cups. We're going to go ahead and add this to our roux. We're gonna stir this in. I'm gonna grab a whisk here when I grab my cheese. So this sauce is starting to get thick. I'm gonna say it's about the consistency of a gravy. I'm gonna go ahead and just taste it real quick, see what we're looking like. It really doesn't need much. I will go ahead and add a little bit more pepper to it since I'm a pepperhead. Hit it with a little salt. And we're going to add our cheese in. And we're just going to stir this in until it's all melted and creamy. So our cheese looks good and cheesy and melted. We're going to go ahead and add our meat on in, meat and peppers, onions. We're just going to fold this in. So we have all this blended together. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and add this to our macaroni noodles. I have a glass dish with canola oil spray lining it just to keep it from sticking. This would have been easier just to mix in a pot, but I am using this skillet for video purposes only. Alright, let's mix this in and see kind of what we're looking like. So I have all this incorporated into the macaroni noodles. Now going into this recipe, what I was thinking was I was going to go ahead and add these toasted breadcrumbs and just top the, top this macaroni and cheese. Start thinking about it. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and we're going to mix this in as well. Just kind of a last minute decision. And then we're going to go ahead and use some leftover provolone cheese on the top, which is something that I really wasn't thinking about doing. So kind of get that bread in there, kind of keeping that cheesesteak theme. And get a little bit of extra cheese on there. Now that those croutons are incorporated in there, let's just hit it with this cheese. I think this is going to turn out well. Gonna throw it in the oven at 350 degrees and I'm gonna let it go for a good 40 minutes or so. So it's time for me to dig in and see what this experiment turned out like. Let's go ahead and take a big bite. That was a nice experiment. Got these nice little chunks of meat. Those breadcrumbs that I kind of folded into it, they're still kind of crunchy, but they're cooked down a little bit, where they're moistened a little bit from the sauce and everything. Man, this is good to go. I think I made a little bit too much, so the recipe I'm going to put in the description is going to be half of this recipe. Anyway, I want to thank Christy's Cooking Channel and Head Chef Mom Kendall Lawrence for kind of sparking that idea in my head. Anyway, like I said, links to their channels that I card above, description below. Thanks for stopping by No Hippie Barbecue. I appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.